Okay, I think I'm live. Perfect. So, hello everybody. My name is JJ Asgar, and I am a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud. Today, I am going to be showing off how to migrate from Dockerhub to Quay.io or the GitHub registry. Being that if you, I'm going to share my screen here in just a moment, but I just kind of want to take a moment to say hi, and hopefully people are watching this and will learn something from it too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And there we go. So there's a possibility you may have received this email from Docker. It was sent 2 days ago, basically saying that their open source and or free tier will be limited 200 container pulls every 6 hours. And anonymous will be attached to 100 container pools for every 6 hours. So high little helper boat. Yeah, it's unfortunate that Docker has decided to do this. Docker is the standard that we've all been using. But if you noticed, they have actually pushed it to mid-2021. But I'm going to still kind of show you how I figured out how to migrate off onto Quay first, and then hopefully I'll be able to show off how to do the Docker registry too. Or sorry, not the GitHub registry also. I was very surprised with how easy this was, and hopefully y'all learned something. So I have a container here under my namespace called the Cat app. If you've seen any of the streams I've done with what is it called? The CD Foundation with Adam Roberts. This was the Cat app that he was using, so we showed off Tecton with. If you're curious, don't hesitate to ask the question in the chat, and I will get you that link. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to migrate this, or for all intents and purposes, copy this off onto my Quay.io namespace. So if you see here, here's Quay.io if you've never seen it. And then I have JJ Asgar, and as you can see, there are no repositories in this namespace. So basically, I'm going to run through. Now, there's a couple different ways of doing this. First, obviously, you can just rebuild it and push your container directly from your Docker file, and then push it directly into Quay, and then just stop using Dockerhub. But there's an idea that I wanted to figure out a way to say that, let's say, for instance, I didn't have access to the Docker file of this one, and maybe it's under my company's name or something to that effect. I need a way to be able to copy this without having to deal with it. So what I've done, I did some research, and a handful of weeks ago, I did a demo with some Red Hatters on this Friday stream on using Podman, Builda, and Scopio. Scopio here, which I'll put into the chat so people can click on the link, because it is surprisingly hard to spell. This is actually the app that is designed to work with remote industry registries, receiving information, images, and signing content. So if you imagine the Docker pull or Docker push, what they've broken up the Podman, Builda, and Scopio kind of broke it into 3 different apps to be able to have them do one thing and one thing well. So this is how I learned how to basically use Scopio to copy directly into Quay. I haven't actually set up the repos on GitHub yet either, but I'm going to start first with the Quay so people can see that, and then after time I'll set up the GitHub registry, walking through that process. So I went ahead and I have a Fedora 33 box right here. I just did a DNF install, sudo DNF install, and as I said, I couldn't spell it if my life depended on it. Scopio right here. And I already installed it because, I went ahead and wanted to test this before I streamed it to make sure that it actually worked how I expected it to. So that's nice. So I have Scopio here. So obviously we need to log in to both sides of the Dockerhub and Quay. Turns out this was actually surprisingly harder to find than I imagined. But if you want to log in to using Scopio to log in, as you see here, there we go. The example is quay.io, and you basically just type in whatever registry you want to log into. In order to get into Docker, I had to do Scopio docker.io. It's not registry.docker.io or .com. The actual registry login goes to docker.io, so be wary of that. So as you see, I've already logged in, which is fine because I didn't want to show my password and all that jazz. So now I'm already logged into docker.io. So if I do, and if I log into Quay, I do Quay, QUWA1.io. Then it got exactly the same. I'm already logged into Quay. So already now Scopio has rights to be able to talk to docker.io and quay.io. Now, from what I understand, I'm going to be proxying, I believe, from one container registry to another. It's not like they immediately just push over. So I'll end up pushing it out. So if you take the first command from Scopio to kind of see what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and inspect the container just to kind of make sure. And another important mention is because by default, we still all go to docker.io. As you notice, I don't have Docker here. I just do the Docker endpoint of my namespace catapp latest. So as you see here, here are all the layers when it was pushed out. Don't know why that's not paging up, and that's a little annoying. But as you can see, name.docker.io catapp, there's the digest, and I only have one tag of latest. So that's fine. That's what we're hoping to see. And it's being difficult, of course. There we go. So if I go ahead and obviously check on Quay.io, obviously nothing will come back because, as we know, talking to Quay, there is nothing in the namespace. So now that I'm logged into both, and I know that the container is fine on the other side, I'm going to run this following command, which will move this over to from Docker into Quay. So it's literally Scopio copy Docker, which is the original one, Docker Quay.io latest. You need to be sure to put your tag on there. You can't just dump it. So you're doing per tag, which is fine. And then what it does is, if you didn't know, the initial container or the initial port for the registry first goes out as a private one. So I'm actually going to go into the app and turn it into public to prove that I can pull it down, which I will here in a moment. But it's one of those weird things that I haven't quite figured out how to make it public from the CLI yet. But it's one of those things that if you did copy over all your containers from, like, for instance, your namespace and or your company, it's nice to have them all private so you can revisit if you need to pull it or not. So here we go. As you can see, it's copying that blob. Oh. What? For some reason that didn't like it. That's fine. But as you can see now, it's actually pushing, which is good. So if you know all your different containers that you have, so in theory, you could just do this as a simple for loop, just over and over and over again. And as you saw, there was a fatal error there. So you just do some, while true, if then kind of statement. You'd be able to take the lion's share of pushing everything over. So there we go. So we've now done it. So if I go ahead and refresh here, and there we go. There's our cat app. And as I said earlier, it's private first, and that's not a big deal because you can just go into settings and then make public. Okay. So there we go. Now we're public cat app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this link. I'm going to do podman pull this. So we're trying to pull from it. There it is. And to kind of the statement earlier, I did not expect that error. Podman twist. Put it down. Was not expecting that error, but that's pretty much it. Let's try on a different machine real quick. Let's try my laptop. Docker pull. Ooh, is it because I didn't put latest down on this? I didn't know which one to actually pull. Oh, still didn't like that. So Docker images -a. And there we go. There's our cat app pulled down. Not too sure why Podman isn't happy. And it looks like it's a problem with the Python package.lock, which is weird. But the other container just pulled it down just fine. So that's it, really. That's the initial migrating from Dockerhub into Quay, and now I have that. So let's take it one step farther. And cool. I'll be putting this video up here on YouTube also if you want to share it. So basically, you can stop watching at about 20 minutes in. But that does all that. So let's talk about Docker Hub now. So if you didn't know, or sorry, GitHub. So the GitHub actually has a registry built into it too. So I'm going to go ahead and I believe I already have cat. We already have it. Yep, there it is. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and try to copy our container into here too. So we have, I thought that was just a button we clicked to turn on the container. GitHub Container Registry. There we go. That's what I was expecting. So I need to log in. How do I log in? Publishing a public image here. There we go. So what I should be able to do is Docker login ghcr.io. Scopio login. Curious to see actually, because I have QFA. See how this goes. Let's see, GitHub. Copy. Okay. So that's not exactly what I wanted. If I need to log in under cat app, I need to make a package. I'm assuming I want to do a Docker package. Oh, here we go. So it turns out it's actually Docker. That's completely not what I was expecting. So Scopio login Docker /. Come on, really? Scopio, login. Copy this. PJ Asgar. Let's just try doing directly into it. So JJ Asgar. And then my password. There we go. Awesome. So now that we've logged into the registry, instead of doing this, I'm betting we should be able to do docker.pkg.github.com/jjasgar/cat-app:latest. Authentication required. It didn't like that, so let's just try straight cat app. No. Whether that already exists. So it doesn't look like Scopio can copy in. I thought I was authorized already. I need to go into a specific Asgar. Not quite sure what to do here. This is authentication required, but I'm already logged in. Learn more. I want to push. So that's building it and that's tagging it. So I mean, obviously I could just build it right on my local box and push it up, but I was hoping to use Scopio, and it looks like Scopio. So this is how to do your own domain. And then that's just inspecting it. Does it tell you which registries support it? Quay, Dockerhub, Artifactory, but it doesn't look like GitHub is supported. That's all local, and that's remote. So Docker package, GitHub, name, repository, and Dockerhub owner, repository, image name, version. That looks right. And we're not doing some weird port or anything from what I can tell. Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe GHCR instead. So grab this one. I'll try to log into that too, see what that happens. Forbidden. So login at JJ Asgar. Now this shouldn't work because I think it needs a token. Yeah, okay. So if I come back over here and then settings, I'm not going to show this for obvious reasons. Device developer settings, PAT. PAT, if you don't know, is personal access token, not point after touchdown. That was a joke. Hopefully somebody laughed. And do it all right. Never learned anything. Is immediately delete this key as soon as you are done with it on stream. That's why you keep it open on another window on another screen. Okay. Copy. Copy. So for that, JJ Asgar, and then that. Now that time I logged in. Okay. So that's a good sign. So if I go back to that. Oh, it worked. There it is. Okay. So in order for you to use Scopio with ghcr.io, you use a token and or your PAT, and then now you can just push it up into GitHub. So there we go. Wow, this was a significantly shorter stream than I was expecting. I thought this was going to be a lot harder, but this actually just worked. So, well, almost. Got to wait for the green. There we go. Okay, so we come back over here to GitHub, JJ Asgar, cat app, and packages. GHCR cat app latest. Why are you not there? There we go. Cat app. Perfect. Yay! Just took a second. So let's take it one step farther and just make sure that we're all doing what we want here. Cat app. Paste. Cool. Cat app. So I should be able now to podman pull GH latest copy. There we go. We're pulling it directly down from GitHub now. Awesome. That's it. like that's what we wanted to show. We now have it's the same error. It's got to be something to do with the actual, as you see, the package.lock, something weird going on in there. But that's it. So now we figured out how to do that. So let me quickly take a note down of how to log into. So I have this little markdown file that I've been working on to kind of put all my notes. So let's. So history, there we go. So how to log into GitHub registry. So what we do is Scopio login ghcr.io. Create a PAT token on GitHub. Log in there. It was username. Or say hash username GitHub user name password GitHub PAT, then how to copy from Dockerhub to GitHub. registry is bash scopio copy docker jjasgar cat app latest, and that was this one, I believe. There we go. That's it. So basically, you install Scopio, and then you log in. So I'll write up a little better docs here in a minute. Kind of just put this up on my blog here, and then put it on dev.to. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show today. So now we have a way to pull off of Dockerhub with one command, push it into Quay, and or GitHub packages here, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. There we go. We got our COBOL batch and our cat app. I could go farther here and try to set up my own Quay instance. If you did not know, project. Quay is an open source project that you can actually run internally, which is kind of cool. There's some really awesome features on top of Quay that if you didn't know. So anyway, that's for another time. I'm just gonna end the stream here. I mean, I did what I wanted to get done, right? I pulled from Dockerhub, or I copied from Dockerhub into GitHub and Quay, and now I have actually how to figure all that stuff out, which is really cool. And then it just works. So yeah, I'll post this to GitHub to YouTube here in a little bit. And I'll write up a thing on blog post and then have that done. So unless anyone has any questions, Tim and Remco, I see you on the chat too. Is there anything else I should go over? Yeah, it looks like I'm waiting the 2 or 3 seconds delay here. I'm feeling pretty good. Not going to rock the boat a little more. That's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I learned about the GitHub process also just now. Also, if you didn't know, I do have the IBM namespace for friends who are IBMers that we can use too. We can copy things into the IBM namespace on Quay, which will make life a little bit easier. So cool. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for sticking around. It was a real short stream, but sometimes the short streams are the best. All right. Bye.